Hello, English 102 students. Good evening. It is Wednesday night here in my Valatia basement. Simon is down here with me. There he is, doing a little scratching. Good job, buddy, on the scratching post. It's where you're supposed to be scratching. And I am going to go through the literary terms. Basically, I'm going to give you the answers to the literary terms exam. What more do you want? So let me get those up on my screen. Oh, look, he's climbed up there. He's climbed up there. That's a good kitty. Oh, no. He's Simon, no, no. He's attacking the curtain. No. That's inappropriate. Good kitty. All right, point of view. The angle or perspective from which a story is told. Now, you have this list. I emailed it to you. First person, the story is told by a character in the story. Look for personal pronouns like I or we as a tip-off. And the example we had for that, we've had a few good examples. Of course, The Great Gatsby is an example of a story told from the first person. Nick is the narrator. Cathedral, Bub. And I think the story we discussed in class was A Party Down at the Square, which has the boy from Cincinnati, the white boy as the narrator. So those are all first-person stories. Third person limited. The story is not told by a character, but the reader only has insight into one character's mind, only sees through one character's eyes. Young Goodman Brown. We only know what's in Brown's head, right? We don't know what anybody else is thinking. So third person limited, Young Goodman Brown is your example. Third person omniscient, all-knowing. The story is not told by a character, Simon. The story is not told by a character, and the reader has insight into every character's mind. And a good example of that is the Rocking Horse Winner. We know how the mom feels. We know how Paul feels. We know how everybody thinks and feels. So omniscient, all-knowing. Last but not least, dramatic or objective, features very, very little description, reads almost like a play, but is not a play. Dialogue is paramount. The example is, anyone? Anyone? Very good. Home Burial. It's a poem. That's okay. It's a narrative poem. Home Burial. All right, so that wraps up point of view. Plot. The patterned arrangement of events in a story. And I want 3 plot points from a story we have read this semester. Let's reach back again to Young Goodman Brown. Brown walks in the woods, falls asleep, has a weird dream. He's bitter the rest of his life. Plot, boom, no thinking, no analysis, just the facts, just what happens. Theme, the controlling idea or meaning of a work. Now this you have to do some analysis. You have to do some thinking about. The American dream is dead, if it ever was alive. Theme of The Great Gatsby. Excess is bad. Theme of The Swimmer. Very good. Characterization, how an author builds a character. Authors often use dialogue, physical description, action, the name, to convey the essence of a character. So how an author builds it. Think of Gatsby, right? We have rumors about Gatsby. Then we meet Gatsby. Then Gatsby lies about himself. Actually, early on, we see Gatsby reaching out for Daisy's house across the bay. And then Gatsby tells the truth about himself. And we have his made-up name, right? J. Gatsby. J means newcomer. He drives a big ostentatious car. He lives in a mansion. These are all ways that Fitzgerald builds the character of J. Gatsby. Dynamic versus static character. That's a little complex, right? Got a couple words there. You got to know both. Dynamic characters change during the course of the story. A good example of that would be Young Goodman Brown. He grows bitter and angry. Also, anyone from A Doll's House? Anyone? Excellent. Nora from A Doll's House changes. Who doesn't change in A Doll's House? Christine Lind is consistent throughout. And of course, the ultimate static character, Louisa Ellis from A New England Nun. She doesn't want to change, right? Figurative language, language used imaginatively and non-literally, right? Life is like a pathless wood. That is figurative language. That's a simile, right? Um, there are so many good uses of figurative language um, that I can't even think of anymore. But life is like a pathless wood from Robert Frost is a very, very good one. Tone, the author's attitude toward the subject or audience. And we know that Fitzgerald's attitude towards rich people was, they stink, right? And his attitude towards the American dream, bunch of baloney. I don't know if we went over this one in class, and you better know both. You got to know verbal, you have to know dramatic. Irony. Verbal irony is when what is said or is written is not what's meant, often the opposite. Nice job, bonehead. Right? You don't really mean nice job. Go ahead, use that as your example. Nice job, bonehead. Dramatic or situational irony occurs when the outcome of a series of events is unexpected, turning out quite differently than hoped for. It is ironic that in her quest for secrecy, the entire world ended up knowing about her affair. There's another example for you. So I'll give you the examples right in the definition there. Nice job, bonehead, Berninger. So it is ironic that in her quest for secrecy, the entire world ended up knowing about her affair. So use those examples in the irony definition. Tragedy. Broadly, any serious literary work in which the protagonist suffers a major reversal of fortune, often leading to his or her downfall, destruction, or death. Of course, we've had plenty of tragedy this semester. Jay Gatsby dies in The Great Gatsby. It makes it a tragedy, right? Young Goodman Brown is bitter the rest of his life. That's a tragedy, right? So lots of tragedy this semester. Last but certainly not least, we have symbolism. When something stands for something else. So we've had a lot of good symbols, haven't we? Remember I showed you the picture of the pure dull gold toilet set in Gatsby's bedroom? Remember that? That symbolizes Gatsby's heart, which is pure gold and rather dull, actually. He's very simple when it gets down to it. He just wants to do everything to get Daisy. Other symbols, the Confederate soldier statues smiling upon the lynching from a party down at the square. Faith's pink ribbons, of course, going way back to the beginning of the semester. Pink, red, and white form pink. Red, sex. White, purity. So there you have it. Not too complex. I'll send out the exam real soon. But there's the video for you. And use this video when you fill out the exam. And that's about it, folks. Making it easy for you because most of you have worked pretty hard this semester and you made it this far. So good luck on the test. Email me if you have any questions. We'll see you around, folks.